Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to another episode of ColdIron here on Dork Tales. I'm your Dungeon Master Kelly. I'm using he and him, and I am very excited to be coming back with another episode of our Wild West-inspired Dungeons and Dragons campaign, set in our homebrew world of Elos. If you're joining us for the first time right now, you've missed quite a bit, but I'll give you a quick update before we begin. I want to go around real quick and introduce the cast before we do some announcements, and then we'll get ready to hop into game. Why don't we go ahead and meet Caitlan first?
Hello. Oh, pardon me. Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlan. I use she, her pronouns, and so does Zoe, the Warforged Paladin of the group.
Fantastic. Next to you, we've got the one and only Mommy Gobbo. It is Robin. Mabo?
Mabo. I am the Mabo. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am very excited to be playing Trixxi Blastemoff, our goblin inventor, artificer, gadgetsmith of the group, who uses she, her pronouns as well. And yeah, super excited to be in game today. I have contoured an insane cheekbone line on Trixxi, and I am very pleased with it. I did not expect these her cheeks to cut glass, but apparently
those do a D6. It's not even a D4. Nice. Down beneath you, looking particularly animated today, it is Christine. Christine, you're the picture perfect of. Honestly, your costume's on point. I've never seen a person look more like their character than you do right now.
Yeah, well, when your dog jumps on you and dislocates your kneecap the day before, animation is great because it means you don't have to sit up straight and have your foot not have your foot up.
Yeah, Teddy was very, very being a good boy.
Teddy stood on my knee and dislocated my kneecap. It is something I've done before in the past, but I haven't not done it for about 10 years, so this was unpleasant. But it's back in place and all. It's just sore and stiff. So I have it raised up on some pillows, so I'm not on camera today. But hi, everyone. I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and today I get to play our Tabaxi warlock, Belle St. Clair.
Beautiful. And next to you, the other member of Team Green, it's Amy.
Hello, that's me. I'm Amy, pronouns are she, her, or they, them, and I'm playing Carrion Slaughterhouse, the ranger, half orc, half fiendish tiefling orcling thing. And it's a great day to be green.
It's a great day to be green, everybody.
And also, I already know I have a leg up on Christine. Or she's got a leg up on us, actually. I got that wrong. Yeah.
Wolf.
Couple pillows, nice and high. All of you can have your legs so much lower.
That's great. Kat will not be joining us this episode. Kat is getting a massive tattoo today and double booked herself. So Taliina'a has been unceremoniously kidnapped, which we'll be looking into in a bit. But folks, before we begin, I have a couple things that I want to tell you. We have done a few rules changes to make this game work a little better in the Wild West setting. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we've changed inside of our ranged combat rules. Because this game is going to be relying primarily on gun combat, a lot of the D&D rules don't really work for that as well as I would like. I have always used the house rule that ranged combat, in ranged combat in D&D, ranged attacks have disadvantage if you are attacking somebody inside of melee range of you, or if you have someone within melee range of you. So for example, if I'm standing next to an orc, that orc makes it hard for me to shoot anybody at all because I'm being threatened. With a gun, that doesn't seem like it's quite as useful. And we were looking at it last episode and there were some issues with that. So we're revising it that basically if you are within 5 feet of an opponent, you have disadvantage to shoot them because you are raising a singular thing that they can try to dodge. Okay, it's easier to dodge a gun point blank than it is to dodge a bullet at 10 feet. You will have no penalty to try to shoot people beyond that. It's assumed that if you have a firearm, and these are automatic loads, not muzzle loads, so these are cartridge and bullet-based guns, so it will be much easier to fire upon people who aren't next to you ready to stab you. So that is one thing that we are doing. Number two is that if you are in close combat and you misfire, that provokes an attack of opportunity from anybody inside of melee range with you, depending on their reach. So you don't want to do the misfire rolls. Number three is that if you have a feature that allows you to do an attack at point blank range without suffering disadvantage, such as with the gunner feat, which has been adjusted, and close quarters marksmanship, I believe is the name of it, the fighting style that Zoe has, you may use your firearms for an opportunity attack. So you have to have a special feature for that, but it means that you're so used to fighting in close quarters combat, if someone messes up, you can shoot them point blank in the face. Great little rule. We're also redoing some of our death mechanics, but I want to do a quick run through the team to make sure that those are good before I share them. Basically, it's going to have a lot of things to do similar to XP to level 3s, mixed with some of the stuff from 2024, and a lot of exhaustion mechanics and allowances for still being able to do things when you are at 0 hit points. Beyond that, the other thing that we've changed about the rules that we're going to be using going forward is we're using reloading as an action or bonus action, your choice. And finally, the last thing is that some guns are going to have the heavy property. Heavy firearm has extra kick that makes it difficult to use in conjunction with another firearm. A heavy firearm used in 2-weapon fighting has disadvantage on its attack roll unless the wielder has specialty training from the dual wielder feat. So the way that's going to work is any pistol that has a D10 or higher, or basically more than a D8 damage. So going forward, Amy, that gun you picked up from the first combat, if you use that in conjunction with the second gun, you will have disadvantage on the heavy shot.
So
now,
I have the fighting style 2-weapon fighting, though. Are you only doing the dual?
I was looking at that.
feat?
So 2-weapon fighting doesn't do the same thing. 2-weapon fighting,
Yeah, I know.
dual wielder specifically has a clause in it that allows you to use larger weapons.
Got it. Okay.
So that just means that you just use
That
a
makes
slightly
sense to me.
smaller gun. But I am making it so that you can use D8 weapons, whereas with melee weapons, they usually cap out at D6 for 2-weapon fighting. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a little fair. Plus, I like it. I think that you should be able to use 2 rapiers. Whereas I think that you may not be able to. I don't think it's fair to have like 2 D10 guns without some special tweaking. You know, like that's big.
Okay,
So-
well, at least I have a gun that works then.
You have a gun that works, and you can always
Okay.
trade that one or sell it. Don't worry, I have something in mind. I'm also doing some rules down the line for spread and things like that, but nobody's got a spread fire weapon at this point, so I figured I don't care.
I want to artifist a loaded chain gun on my arm at some point.
That's a level 7 thing, a minimum.
I know.
yes, we'll
I
talk.
know. It's
We'll
coming.
talk. It's coming. So besides that, those are the only rules that we've changed. I will be publishing these with the ColdIron stuff over on the Patreon. A big thank you to everybody who's joined the Patreon recently. We are very close to Christine having to run that Regency era game. I believe right now, as soon as people claim a bunch of gifted subs, we're like 5 people away at this point. So if you want to make that game happen, it will be a couple months down the line because it takes some time to like get the art, develop the stuff, make the costumes, etc. But join the Patreon. Any tier level that is paid will go toward that. We're going for 175. So go do it. It's $1 counts toward it. $5 is better. You get more cool stuff. Besides that, I have to do a big thank you for our sponsor, Bookwyrm Games. Bookwyrm Games is your place to go if you're looking for dice that are going to roll really well and are going to not treat you like Amy's dice treat them. It's really true. They are an absolutely fantastic
Hey, I
sponsor.
rolled the bookworm dice. Sometimes it helps.
Sometimes it helps. They are an absolutely wonderful sponsor, and if you go to their website right now, you can use code DorkTales to save 15% on any order that you make. There's also free shipping worldwide if you order $100 Canadian or more, which is like nothing right now. Our dollar sucks. I did want to say as well that they have a special backer kit right now where they are doing their Fae Friends, a Pentopia pin and plush campaign. That's right, they're finally starting to do their plushes. If you go over there, look at the plushes. They're absolutely fantastic. They have, what's the name of the Mew moth? So it's a cat moth. The head of Bookwyrm Games went over this with me. They're absolutely fantastic. They put so much thought into the creation of these lovely little plushes. Go get them. And if they make enough money, they might do some Dork Tales plushes, because who does not want a little plush Farah? I do. Thank you, Bookwyrm Games, for being our sponsor. Again, use their website, code DorkTales, to save 15%. And with that, is there any other big announcements that need to be made before we hop in? Perfect. All right. So, folks, we got a lot to do today and little time to do it. So, without further ado, let's head back in to ColdIron here on Dork Tales. Last episode, you all found yourselves in the middle of chaos. Bombs exploded around the painted market, plunging the area into smoke and the stench of gunpowder. Screams echoed out that drew you outside of the Chancellor pub. And it was there that you discovered that giant mutated fleas had been released on the townsfolk by some people calling for freedom for the land of Drace, which you know as the Cauldron. You engaged with these fleas, only to find that they had a central host, or owner, keeping its pets in line, a tumorous troll that you discovered was mutated by a piece of cold iron. You discovered after it was killed. In the fight, many of you were injured, or several of you were injured, and Taliina'a vanished as part of a roof collapsed, obscuring the view of where she had been left. Carrion went to try to rescue her from rubble, finding that she had vanished completely. As the troll began to regenerate, and the battle became even more pitched, you were worried that you might not be able to put this thing down, when suddenly the intercession of 4 newcomers sealed the troll's fate. 4 dragoons, big game hunters from the Veldt, descended on the square. Using guns and magic, they brought the troll down. And that's where we ended game, right as they were approaching and Trixxi was pocketing the piece of cold iron that had fallen out of that slowly, well, actually very rapidly rotting troll that turned into component ooze when it was all said and done. And that's where we're going to start right now. The square around you is beset with smoke. It chokes you. Zoe, you find yourself lying on the ground, incredibly damaged by the troll's claws and bites. Belle, you stand atop the building, half collapsed by this massive creature's weight, keeping an eye out, looking at some of the encroaching cavalry. Carrion, looking down the alleyway, or looking down the blocked alleyway, you see no sign of Taliina'a. And nearby, Trixxi, I need you to make me a sleight of hand roll to see if you can pocket that. You can make it with advantage because of the obscuration from smoke.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, 22.
22? All right. You pocket it. What is everyone doing?
I think Belle is going to go try and find... because she saw Tali fall, but she doesn't know anything else, so she would be trying to go and... Since she hasn't come back up, she's obviously hurt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
good.
Carrion was had climbed through into the rubble of the alleyway,
Mhm.
so you'll probably find her down there trying to look and like just digging things out and probably turning to head back.
I want you to make me an investigation check if you're sifting through the rubble. Belle, are you just going to like climb down and hop down with cat-like grace?
That sounds about right.
Can you say that again without the dog shaking?
Yes, I think so. That sounds about right.
Perfect. So leaping down next to Carrion, you can lend her advantage if you're helping her search.
Cool.
Sure, yeah.
Because that first roll was a 5.
Perhaps it should be the other way around. If I'm like, I don't see it, but keep looking, and she can do it with advantage because I had nothing
Well,
to it.
I'll let, so if you would like to, then I'll let Belle roll flat. And it'll just be 2 flat rolls rather than 1 advantage roll.
Okay, and that's
Sure.
investigate.
That's investigation.
That is going to be a dirty 20.
A dirty, yeah, that's probably a little bit better. Looking around, you are going to see that, Carrion, this place is absolutely a mess. The collapsed rubble is kicking up dirt and debris that's stinging your eyes. You'll see that the place, this alleyway has 100-pound slabs of concrete lying here with bits of structural rebar sticking out that you're trying not to snag yourself on. Bits of the troll's meat is deteriorating in front of you into this gross, snotty ooze, and underneath it there are several splashes of blood that you imagine must be Taliina's. The chaos here is very hard to see through. However, Belle, you hop down and narrowing your cat eyes, you are going to be able to see that, yeah, that's probably Tali's blood. But what you are going to notice as well is that as the dust is falling from this collapsed masonry, you'll see that there are several scrape marks in the ground. The dust and debris. It looks like someone fell here and was dragged for a few feet before being fireman hoisted. And then the footprints end. It's just too chaotic. There's too much random debris. But you'll be able to see that there is that disruption in the fall pattern. And right next to it, crumpled on the ground, well, not crumpled, but folded, end over end over end, to the point where, you know when you fold a piece of paper to the point where you almost can't fold it anymore? I think it's like the 7th fold is when it starts getting really, really rough. You'll see that there's something about the size of your thumb lying on the ground, kind of slowly unfolding, as if it had been in someone's pocket and fell a few minutes ago.
Belle will pick it up.
Opening it up, you will see that it is a handbill of Taliina'a. It's one of those type of come see our showgirls at the Gilded Garter. It has cover charges. And as you're looking at it, this is fairly old. Judging by the date on the bottom that says discounts are valid until, this is probably at least 6 months old. Tali's hair is different now. It's a different cut, different look. And as you flip it to the back, there will be a little note. It's very smudged. You read and speak common pretty well, right?
That is correct.
Can I get you to do me a favor? And I want you to make me an int check to try to decipher the smudges.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20s all around for you today. It says in an Imresian script, it says, Father, things are going well. I thought I'd send you a photo of my friend. I'm learning how to be a dancer like her. Don't worry. She's taking great care of me. The people here are really nice. I'll send money home soon. And it's signed at the bottom, Love, Sabrina.
Belle, I think, is just going to start swearing quietly under her breath.
In Tabaxi's.
Yeah.
Meow. Well, that's just perfect.
No, not like that character from that anime.
Okay. So Carrion, looking around this, you're going to hear a bunch of profanity come out of Belle's meowth. You can't see, but Christine's giving me the dirtiest look right now. Tabaxi or knack. Okay, so you're swearing up a storm. Now what?
Carrion's gonna come over, and like, I didn't find anything.
It looks like Tali
Something
got
wrong?
taken.
Taken.
Well, the drag marks still here, and then it looks like she probably got picked up because there's a lot of blood. So she's probably quite hurt.
Can I do a survival check to try and figure this out instead of investigation to look at like tracks and trails and blood?
You may.
Now that's been pointed out.
You'll have to roll. Yeah, go ahead, give me a roll. It's not going to be super helpful beyond confirmation, but go ahead.
23.
Damn. Okay, more helpful than I thought. The tracks are going to end after a certain amount. It's so hard to do urban tracking on this kind of thing, but you are going to pick up a couple of details. First of all, the bleeding appears to have been staunched. You'll see that there is a pool of blood nearby, and it looks like it stops there. There's very few drops of blood beyond this, which means that whoever grabbed Tali probably did some very basic first aid to prevent her from bleeding out. That's hopeful. The other thing is that looking at this, you are going to see that the tracks in the ground indicate a human man, probably about 170, 180 pounds. So full grown, long stride, slight limp. As well as it is very obvious based on the stride pattern that he was carrying someone else that was at least another 100 pounds.
So I'm guessing like I can see they're wearing some sort of shoe or footwear. So this isn't like a, yeah, but I probably don't know exactly what it is, like humanoid versus, and probably larger frame maybe, but maybe not human.
23, I'm going to say that it's probably human. And I'll also give you that with that 23, you will see that there is a very particular soul pattern that is in one patch of ash that you will recognize as an Imresian boot manufacturer. Largely because it's Morningstar boots. Morningstar being a company that makes very, very high quality leather boots. And one of the things they have on their soles is a blazing star. So there is a bit of tread there.
Cool. I will point that out to Belle.
And Belle will wave the handbill at you and you remember what Trixxi was saying about her co-workers dying?
Vaguely.
Well, an old bill with a girl's message to her dad about learning from Tali. Looks like it's one of the coworkers.
Well, that's shitty.
A relative.
We cut back to the square. Zoe, you're pretty badly damaged, having just been healed by Trixxi. As these figures are coming out of the mist toward you, there's still a lot of chaos around you in this central part of the market here. Can I get you to make me a perception roll with disadvantage to see if you notice Trixxi pocket something?
Yeah. Oh, let's use this one. Oh, let's use this one. Sorry, my son just like knocked over all my dice earlier, so I'm like, oh, that's not great. Let's not use that one. With disadvantage even.
With disadvantage,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that one was, well, the second roll was an 18. So that's going to be a 6.
A 6? Okay. Well, at
Yeah.
least you didn't botch. You don't think that you stole the ColdIron.
Okay,
I have
great.
it.
I have
You know.
the cold.
She's just too busy going, starting. Oh. Troll in the alley! And like sitting bolt upright, twitching a little bit. She's moving a little.
Take a point of inspiration.
Yay! Thank you. I've been waiting to say that since last game. Just thought you ought to know.
Great, that's amazing, Caitlan.
Damn, you trolled me.
Her movements are way jankier than before. She sits up and looks around, taking in exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you're looking a little bit janky over there, Zoe. I actually have some tools in my bag. Do you mind if I I can try and fix you up a little bit if you want.
Oh, thank you. That would be very helpful.
Can I make a Tinker's Tools check to try and like grease up Zoe?
You can try.
Ooh.
Go ahead and make me that roll.
Cool. I have a right tool for the job, which allows me to add
do.
proficiency twice when I use this. Oh, that doesn't help when I roll a 5.
That sounds absolutely fantastic.
Wait, hold on. I add some stuff. I rolled a 5. I add. Would this be a Tinker's Tools is a sleight of hand, yes?
I think it's a tool check.
It's a tool check. So basically, it'll be Dex plus your proficiency.
Twice, okay. 5, 8 plus
Twice?
4. Yeah, because I said right tool for the job when I use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically expertise. So 5, 8, 12.
12. So looking at this, this is the first Warforged that you have probably ever touched. And the fact that
Oh
you're
yeah,
touching,
she's super excited. She's very excited.
as you go and look at this, you are going to see that, oh, this is going to be so cool. You know, you're thinking, you reach out with your mechanical arm and start to look at the wound. And the first, there are a couple of things that are going to jump out at you immediately. The first, this is really exciting. And as you reach forward and pull aside, or try to pull aside, a bit of the metal shell around the wound in Zoe's ribs, Zoe flinches. Not much. She has nerves. And the other thing you're going to see is what is beneath is this sinewy mix of wood grain and metal that intertwines like ripped open musculature. But it looks like the cables of a woven steel cable, the type that would hold up a suspension bridge. Looking at her, There's no nuts. There's no bolts. She's not able to be tinkered. She's alive.
Uh, uh, I guess I understand why that healing drink I gave you worked. Yeah. Wow. Sorry. I'm getting all in your guts. Let me just You're amazing. I've never seen anything like this. I'm sorry. You are.
You're also amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I can't
sometimes
do anything. I can't do anything to help you other than, like, I guess heal you, but I'm all out of my potions. I need to remake them.
That is okay. I just need to rest.
Yeah, I think we all do. Wow. I'm just that is, you are beautiful. I'm sorry. You are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. No one has ever said that before.
Well, that is a crying shame. Yeah, you are beautiful. I'm so...
Something else that you're going to notice as you're inspecting her closely. Some of her clothing has been ripped, or her cover at least. She mostly just wears like the poncho, right? Along the side of...
Yeah, skirt.
And a skirt, yes. Along the side of what would be her rib cage, there are several old... They almost look like welding marks. In the shape of claws. Kind of down the back of what would be her lat muscles. They're not welds. That's what it looks like when metal scars. It must be.
Huh.
What's your passive perception, both of you?
11?
12.
Right. There is going to be, like, there's a number of things moving in here. People crying, people calling out. And then suddenly, there is a shadow looming over both of you. A figure is squatting down next to Trixxi, looming over her because of his height. It is a tabaxi, a full-bred tabaxi. The leonine face, the feline face, and not a leonine, with midnight black fur, long locks of hair grown out and dyed chalk blue, wearing a number of fungal leather armor strips, kind of in almost like a lattice work, like a drow would wear, crouching over, looking down. I say, very interesting. Are you both all right? Hello?
I am now. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Looks at
doing...
her like that's open. I will
Trixxi,
be
like,
okay.
closes her up a little bit and just like, yeah, just finishing up here. Hi, Mr. Pussycat.
Mr. Midnight. Pleasure to meet you. Are you the ones that tenderize the troll?
I guess. Yes.
Suppose.
These are the ones, Zenobi! Nearby, you see that a woman walking among the wreckage, holding the biggest fucking shotgun that you've ever seen. More like a blunderbuss than anything else. A tall woman, half-elven heritage, tapered ears, one of them clipped off by a bullet. Around the center, long auburn hair cascading down around a central braid. Kind of looks over wearing like this this kind of pale leather duster that's splattered with blood and stitch marks, and is gonna go, "That's nice." So, thanks for the assist. Yeah. If any of you want to do any big game hunting, swing by the lodge. Be good to see you there. We're heading for Burden tomorrow.
Actually, would Trixxi recognize anything on them?
Make me a history roll.
Signify them. I rolled a 2, so that's gonna be 5.
No idea. No idea.
You guys, new in town?
You could say that. The Dragoon Lodge. We hunt big monsters like this one. He holds up, from his opposite hand behind his back, he's holding the head of one of the giant fleas. One of these guys.
Oh.
Hungry?
No.
Maybe? How do you serve them?
I
You don't
don't
eat
get
them
hungry, actually.
Raw? It's like sashimi.
Sure, I'm always down to try new things. Let me suck up that juice.
Make me a con save if you're going to drink a little bit of the flea nectar.
Yep. Water with my middling dice rolls tonight, or today. That's gonna be a 13.
Really sour and very coppery. And there's troll blood in this thing still. It needs to be. Holy shit, I can't believe you did that. You'll swallow anything. Why don't you dare to go?
She will pull out a business card from between her bosom and hand it to. I certainly will.
Make me persuasion
For a
roll.
prize.
I want to see the impact you make on Mr. On
Mr.
Mr. Midnight. Yes.
No!
What'd you roll?
What do you think I did with that reaction?
You rolled a now one. You rolled a now one.
Yeah.
It's not
So
our
that would-
day.
It's not our day.
Oh. I'll pass it along. Yep, time to get to work. And he'll stand up and vanish into the smoke.
Trixie's gonna pout a little bit. Just
Oh, very well. Oh, there. She's going to tap, like, not really aware of her own strength. And kind of give you, better luck next time, if you want to see him again. He told you where he is.
yeah, I guess so, yeah. Are you into big game hunting at all? Maybe, I think
Not
that's
really.
more of
I
a
like to
Carrion
cook.
thing.
Probably. We could tell her about it.
That's true. Where did they get up to? Oh, they're probably looking for Oh, right.
They're going
Tali.
to Burden, they say.
Fell. Yes.
Oh, yes. Where is
We
she?
should probably see where she is.
All right.
Let's go find her.
Yes.
So, cutting back to the scene of the collapsed building, you are inspecting that pamphlet as you hear the sound of some shifting rubble behind you. Zoe and Trixxi approach.
It'll be a little crowded in here if we all come in.
Oh, Zoe will just peek around the corner. Hello. Did you find Trixxi?
Tali?
Tali.
Oh, I'm Tali.
Trixxi.
I don't know. Sorry. Other.
Well,
That's all right. You're a
Like
little
that.
bit discombobbled over there.
Yes, my brain is a little scrambled.
And
But I will
no,
be
I did not
okay.
find Tali. Though it looks like she may have been taken? Stolen? Abducted?
Taken. Whoa.
What?
That way.
By who?
Carrion points in the general direction of
How do you know that?
where this. Well, there's these boot marks, and the blood is seems to have been staunched. And Belle picks something up.
There's also this, and she'll hold up the waybill.
Oh.
Mm,
Trixxi, did you say one of the girls? Any of the girls' names?
Yeah, she had Trixxi's mentioned, Tali's mentioned.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I get my name mixed up. I'm also just a little bit combobulated, apparently. Yeah, there was the girl that died. What was her name? So, there was two of them. There was her old friends. She mentioned something about a Sabrina, I think.
That's what I thought. This is from a Sabrina to her father. It was folded up on the ground. It's quite old.
Oh, that's not good.
This might be...
Foul
I
play.
mean, it might be
I
him,
mean, event.
or
I
a
mean,
family member who's just blaming
maybe we
her.
could go to the gilded. Oh my god, why am I forgetting the name? Why is my brain a Swiss
Garter.
cheese hole right now? Garter. I was gonna say gilded lily. I'm like, that's not it.
But it could be.
Gilded
nice name,
Garter. And see if we can maybe ask around. Also on a side note, Carrion, you might be interested into this. The people that came in at the last second and stole our kill of the troll, they're from the Dragoons or something. Anyway, apparently they're big game hunters. They offered an invitation to any of us if we want to go big game hunting. They're leaving tomorrow for Burden, so that you might just passing that along you as well, Belle. Don't know what you all like to do, but definitely seems maybe more Carrion's alley.
We figured it may be your style.
It could be from time to time. Though it's not my main focus.
Well, hunting things down to capture or kill them is kind of what I've been doing for the last year. So that's
So
might be-
that might be that might be a good thing for you to do then. Well, sorry, I just
yeah, no, sounds interesting. I'll keep an eye on it, I guess.
Yeah,
Good.
that could be fun.
He was quite strange, but I don't think I am one to speak of that.
yeah. If you want a Mr. Midnight, he's a black tabaxi, but like more feline looking tabaxi. Like he looks more cat, like he looks like a cat, but like walking on two legs.
Yes. Well, we probably should not delay.
Yeah, let's
If
check the
Tali has
the
been-
gilded Gata, and then how's everyone feeling? We may want to regroup at the glory before going to the gilded Gata if we're gonna be in trouble, or if we're just gonna go for leads. Maybe we do that and then go back for a rest. How is
Maybe
everyone
helpful.
feeling?
Admittedly,
could
I'm
use a
rather
little
tired.
break.
But if I am outvoted, that is okay. I could also rest. Stares at the hole in her chest.
Some type of
It
liquid's
might-
leaking out of it. It's like grayish.
Oh, it's gonna
Looking
like
a little
poke
worse for
finger in
wear.
there and try to staunch it. Just kind of spurts around it.
Trixie's gonna like rip off a piece of her cloak, very much like how Zoe's been ripping off pieces of cloak, and Trixie's just gonna try and like
Aw, trades.
wrap it around or stodge it. Yeah, let's maybe let's lie down and stop leaking out of. Everyone needs to stop leaking.
Oh, I do feel a little lightheaded. So strange. That may be a good idea.
Yes, let's all do that. That sounds like a very good plan.
And it's about that time that you'll start hearing bells and calling voices come out. Seems the town guard has finally made it to the main square. Callers and criers are shouting out, "Everyone back into your homes! Back into your homes! If they're stable, get back into them while we clean this up! Everyone, take care! Muster point is over at the church! Head there! The Church of the Charred Lord!"
But
Everyone else, get back home! Now!
Church of the Charred Lord?
Hmm?
Do I know who that is? Do we know who that is? That particular phrase?
Yeah, you totally do. Do you want to make me a
Okay.
history check?
It's just not familiar
Or
to,
pardon me,
to
you wanna
Amy
make-
the player.
It shouldn't make any sense to Amy the player yet, but you can make me a religion roll.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Oh, damn. I know things. That is a 19. I add nothing to it.
Perfect. 19? Yeah, Church of the Charred Lord. The Charred Lord is a god of, it's the colloquial name given to the god of valor, the god of oaths, and the god of generally honorable combat. Kind of depicted as a humanoid figure in charred black armor. More commonly, I guess, if his original name was Akaris before the Sundering. But that's another story. Good place to go if you need some martial support and you need to make sure that you get a bit of if you need to be protected, it's a good place to be. But for the rest of you, it seems like the townies are going to start to evict you back to your own district.
Okay, so regroup and then ask about leads.
yes.
Okay,
That sounds like a plan.
got it.
If you want, you might be able to sneak back around and do some other stuff inside the district, but you'll need to make some rolls. Otherwise, you can just head back to the lantern.
I think we just...
Ooh, I have a drama bomb.
I'm okay with just going back.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's we're gonna get booted out, and we're all quite
Probably safe to go regroup before.
I think one more
Hitting
scuffle would
the
take
street?
me out again.
yes, and I'm all out of potions and things need tweaking, so I am not good except for my gun, which is pretty helpful, but I also like my extra ammunition.
Oh, you are always good. She's gonna tap again, not realizing her strength, kind of janky like. You are always good. Do not sell yourself short.
Aw.
All right. And with that, you make your way out of the district. Thankfully, the wind, now that the explosives are dying off, starts to clear. Can I get Trixxi to make me an intelligence check?
Just a straight in check.
Straight int check. Well, actually, so you have right tool for the job. Does that mean that you're proficient with all kits?
No, my proficiency is doubled for any ability check that I make that uses any of the tool proficiencies that I
are you
gained for the
proficient with
class.
alchemist tools?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, right tool for the job.
Okay.
So this is an int check.
In check, and then I add my proficiency. What the shit? Okay, dice jail. Dice jail. You're in the timeout chair with another
Straight to
nat 1.
jail.
Straight to
Another
jail.
nat
You rolled
one.
another
Straight
nat
to
1.
jail.
Amy, this is the dice that you gave gave me.
Oh no.
It's rolled 2 nat 1s.
That's how
Sorry,
Amy
clearly
gets rid of
not
her
for this
luck.
character.
Yeah, apparently it's not for this character. I mean, even if right tool for the job, it would be a 1 plus 3 is 4, 9.
9. With your specialty, I will say that it doesn't look like, for the most part, these were, you're pretty sure that these were not explosives. Like, these weren't, like, charges. You think that, like, there's way too much smoke. They must have done something alchemical, but you haven't the foggiest idea of what.
Well, it's not. It was not an explosive. Well, it wasn't charged. There was probably some sort of chemical reaction that happened, but doesn't quite smell right for that, and it doesn't. The smoke is too different. I don't know what they did.
Make me a wisdom save, please, Robin.
Oh. Oh.
New dice.
Wisdom save, you say. Oh.
What'd you say?
Oh, that's an 18 with this dice.
Perfect.
Good.
So there's a reason that you clam up suddenly and have a little bit of time not to think. As you were kind of starting to think about what type of smoke bombs or whatever they use to create that huge amount of coverage, there's going to be a thunderclap overhead, sudden, on a clear, well, aside from the smoke, on a fairly clear day, there's going to be a thunderclap up above, and behind you, you're going to be startled, but not enough that you have to react in any other way, aside from just, it explains why the other roll was bad. There is going to be a sudden downpour that erupts on top of the painted market. Anybody who's proficient in Arcana, that's probably a spell. Because you are dry as a bone. The water starts falling right at the edge of the district. And as you walk beyond its boundary, you will be dry.
How strange, but good for their crops.
Yeah, they must have fire suppression. That is.
Ooh.
That's a
That-
use
that's-
of that spell.
That was very good, very good magic. Let's keep going.
Okay.
And with that, you head down to the lower city. The place is teeming with folk that have been evacuated from the upper echelons. Merchants coming home for the day early, people trying to scramble down, bringing as much of their wares, as much of their work as they can. No artisan wants to leave tools behind, even in an emergency. It's like when they say leave your luggage and carry-ons on in the event of a water landing, but who really wants to leave their laptop under the seat? Who really wants to leave their passport or other belongings? Similar to that. These artisans, their tools are their livelihoods. And in a place like the Cauldron, your livelihood, it can pay for more than just your life. It takes a bit of time, moving through the hustle and bustle of the crowd. But before too terribly long, you will be able to make it down into the areas of Prospect that you are a bit more accustomed to. Now, the Lantern District, it's never particularly bright, with so many overarching layers above you. The light goes down here only at a dimness. The lanterns burn during the day as much as they do any other time. And before long, you find yourself in the lower areas of the lantern, surrounded by the hue of crimson light. And once again, even 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30, 2 by the time you get to the Gilded Garter, the Glory, and the rest of the Lantern District. It might as well be night.
Also, can we just acknowledge our private chat? Amy was like, Carrion pulls out a tampon out of her belt pouches to staunch the oil dripping out of Zoe, or whatever gray liquid that was.
So
Unreal.
good.
I mean, come on. As if they don't have the technology and the magic to invent that.
100%.
A
100% there's
tampon? I mean,
tampons.
We had a version of that in like the 1800s where women wrapped rags around a bit of stick and shoved it up there. So
Yeah,
I
Oh.
think a magic society with artificers would come up with a bloody tampon.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's a must-have for your sky ships.
You make your way back to the market. You make your way back to the Lantern District, where it is essentially night. Red light blazes all around you. Where are you headed?
The glory, I think.
Sounds good.
Trixie's gonna kind of be like, as before we go in, Trixie's gonna be like, I'm gonna just I'm gonna talk with the madam to see if I have any work tonight. But I have something to show you guys up in the room when we're all alone. So I will meet you guys up there very briefly after I talk to Madam Stylus. But I have something to show you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Heading inside of the Glory proper, you can see that there is a wide variety of people waiting to be serviced. A number of the workers enjoying themselves. There is a little bar, a place for you to get to know people before you take them up. A place to get a little relaxed, a little loosened. And as you are headed in, Robin, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I want you to give me 2 of your coworkers. What are they? Who are they?
So we have established the canine next door to Trixxi.
Okay. Did you name her? Or them?
I think we named them in one of our private chats during there, but oh boy,
Did we?
if I wrote that down.
Putting you on the spot here, because I wanna. You have Reggie the Kobold Alchemist and Truvy the Kobold Maid. I have that for sure. And Linkelschmidt the Gnome. I have that too.
We're gonna have a red female presenting tiefling. Her stage name is Desire.
Desire. Very original. Good, good.
Yep,
For
yep.
her.
Listen. She is more beauty. She's more tits than brains.
And she ain't much tits.
It's true. So red tiefling Desire, as well. Another coworker is going to be a we're going to have a sort of this place caters to all types of folks, right?
types.
So we would probably have we have a male wood elf who is dark, kind of chocolate colored hair, whose name is wood elf name
Ambrose
generator.
Battlemare.
Uh,
I just generated Wolfhilda, which is a good name for someone else down the line. That's going to be an Amy
Right.
character name.
Fentoris Dawnwish.
All right, Fentoris. Heading inside, you can hear the sound of music being played. You can hear the sound of street dogs outside barking, echoing through the some of the windows as people are cleaning them. And you can see a very, very rotund, full-cheeked human woman lying on one of the couches, being flirted with very strongly by Desire and Ventoris at the same time. They both give you a little bat of their fake eyelashes and a grin as they continue doing their work, enjoying it quite a bit, trying to upsell. Where are you headed? You going straight to Madame Stylus's office?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. The door opens as you approach. Come in. You hear from inside.
Hello, madam. Just wanted to see if there was any work available tonight for myself. I know my room is still getting fixed up, but I do need to make some coin.
You most certainly do. Yes. As a matter of fact, there are 2 jobs available for you. You have 2 clients coming in. One coming in at... your first one's coming in at 6th bell. Your last is coming in at 8th. Can you handle a 2-hour turnaround?
Of course. Depends if any specific requests have been made that might extend it, but typically we can do that.
Your first one's Sketty. That dwarf artist that comes in here from time to time. Sketty is a willowy dwarf. Middle-aged for a dwarf. His beard is a little patchy around the cheeks. He's very shy, constantly covered with flecks of paint. Very, very good painter, but definitely somebody who doesn't make eye contact very well with people, someone who doesn't really know how to speak to anyone, really, but is a great listener. He is particularly vanilla, foolhardy, and wears a lot of handcrafted jewelry, which is how he makes most of his money, since his painting has yet to take off. He tips well.
Of course.
And then if you're fine with it, it looks like you have a lady caller coming in at 10 o'clock.
Is that different from the 8th? Who's the 8th bell?
My apologies. 8 o'clock.
Okay.
The notation system here. I didn't take the booking for this, but someone requested you by name.
Oh.
Someone named... All I have is the initials. TD.
TD.
Paid in advance for your services, though.
Huh. All right. Do I recall any female lady that I've met that's TD?
Nope.
Cap.
You make me an in check.
I would love to make you an in check.
Tali, duh. No.
Yeah, right? That was my first thought. Straight int is gonna be an 18.
Nobody.
Hmm.
Maybe. Ooh, no. Nothing off the top of your head.
Any notes, any requests, or just the initials?
Just the initials. Said that you came highly recommended by a friend of hers.
All right.
I didn't
I will
take
do-
the booking. Desire
Hmm.
did.
Oh, I'm surprised she got the initials.
I'm surprised it's in common.
That is very true. Yeah, I can take both of those. Where am I going to be using? Because of my, or unless have they cleaned up my room?
Your room's gonna be ready tomorrow. Maybe the
Oh.
next day, as soon as that kobold manages to get all the rest of the blood out. There's some type of substance in there that just is not coming out of the rug. And we are particularly adept, as you know, at getting all manner of substances out of fibers.
Mm-hmm.
At this rate, I might have to get rid of the rug and just charge you for it.
Oh.
If that's the case, I could have the room back to you by tomorrow and you wouldn't have to help pay for somebody else's room. Unless you want to use the attic that you are so graciously sharing with your girlfriends.
I don't think they would, especially not with, Sketty. That would be very uncomfortable for him. I will pay the deposit on the rug to replace it.
Alright. I'll have that replaced. But for tonight, you can go ahead and... just one moment. She stands up from behind her desk. Her skirt just immediately billowing out around the framework beneath it. And she sachets over to the door, looks out, and will whisper, "Fentoris, do you mind terribly if Trixxi uses your room for the night in exchange for the usual fee?" And over at the couch, Fentoris will be talking with this woman and will throw back his head at something that she says that's not nearly as funny as... gives a thumbs up back toward her as the message spell. He doesn't even bother replying to it. Good. All right. Well, he will take the usual 25% cut for using his room. Well, with that, is there anything else I can do for you?
You have a relative, right, that works in the city?
Now, Trixxi, all of my girls are family. And let's leave it at that. Anything else you need from me?
Nope. That will be plenty. Appreciate the generosity and your accommodation as always, madam. And I appreciate you putting up.
I appreciate you too, doll, but if you spend much more time wagging your lips instead of using them to make money, you're gonna owe me a lot more than you do.
Yes, ma'am. And Trixxi will abruptly about face and run upstairs real quick.
She'll raise her hand. sit back behind the desk, raise her hand, and will flick her wrist, and the door will go as her mage hand shuts it, and she goes back to work. The impropriety of some of these young ones, she'll mutter to herself. As you head out, you will hear the sound of laughter and footsteps as Desire and Fentoris take the merchant woman upstairs. Fentoris will give you a bit of a nod, saying that he's totally fine with you doing whatever in his room. You've used it a number of times. Generally, if you have to use another worker's room, they get a commission cut, and you're responsible for making sure that none of their stuff gets damaged or stolen. Fentoris's room is going to be an interesting choice for Sketty, because it is particularly designed to have a lot of restraints and is very dark themed.
Yep. Trixie's gonna try and grab, like, she'll try and, like, find a closet with a lot of extra, like, bed sheets and stuff, and try and, like, just drape it very artsy to,
Sounds good. So you'll start preparing for that, and after a little bit of time, there will be a knock at the door, and a very shy-looking dwarf will be standing at it, saying, Miss Trixxi, it's nice to see you again. New room?
I had a little mishap in mine. So it's getting repainted. So I'm just borrowing Fentoris's right now.
I have a special request today.
Oh? What is
He'll
it?
nod. He's trembling at the shoulders, and he'll reach into a satchel bag and will pass over a romance novel.
Oh.
Called Loved by a Dragon.
And what would you like to do?
I have used, I have dog-eared the page. Flipping to it, we're going to fade to black with Trixie's eyebrow going up. She reads the passage. He's growing! And we're going to transition upstairs, where the rest of you are in the spare room, taking some time to heal and relax. And is there anything else that you all are doing before you fall asleep?
No, I think Carrion's just ready for sleep. And a shower or a bath, if that's possible.
You absolutely can get a wash tub bath. And in fact, this room does have a little curtain that they can bisect. Some of the kobold workers will come up carrying pails of normal water, to be honest, putting it into a wooden wash tub that is roughly big enough that you can fit your thighs up to about your collarbone in. The rest of you you're going to be Geralting this. Okay? The cold water is going to be sloshed in there, and as they leave, one of the kobolds is going to look at you and say, "No touch, okay? No touch," and is going to pull out a small stone with a pair of tongs and drop it into the water, at which point immediately the water is going to start going and start heating up as this firestone infuses it. The right temperature, you take out with tong. The wrong temperature, you are a lobster. Eh? Green not go red well. And with that, you can take a nice, warm bath. Trixxi, are you coming up to drop or to chat or check in between shifts?
Yes. Yeah, Trixie will probably drop off her bag and stuff, and also she wanted to talk to them about the thing that she found from the troll.
Cool. Now, are the four of you, are the three of you doing anything before Trixie heads back up? She'll be there in about an hour, give or take.
Probably just shining, cleaning up and scrubbing and shining a little bit.
Anybody who is looking at Zoe is going to see that the sinewy strands of metal are slowly, painstakingly growing back into place. It's like watching a tree spread its roots in fast motion. Belle, what are you doing? Nearby, you can hear the sloshing of water as Carrion's getting clean.
I think Belle will spend her time making sure like she gets cleaned up, rests a bit, looks after her gun, all that sort of thing. So
Sounds good.
General planning / cleanup preparation.
So, as you're doing that, a few moments will pass. You'll take about an hour of short rest time, downtime. And then the door will open as Trixie enters. And Trixie, what do you say as you come in?
Sorry about the delay. Listen. I've got some news. And I don't think you're gonna like it.
I think that's where we're going to take our break. So folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10. I got to go walk the dog. See you in a minute. Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. This is the part of the program we're going to talk to the chat for about 5. How are y'all doing? Y'all having fun? It's sad that Kat's not here, but I'll make her life hell next session. I'm excited. So a couple things before we continue. We are not doing ColdIron next weekend. I want you to know that right now. I'm taking it off because right now my next week was going to be Phandelver, Shards, Transylvania, Changeling, Vecna, Radiant Citadel, and then ColdIron, and then Phandelver, and then Avernus, and then nothing. Actually, I'm taking that Transylvania off. So it was going to be 9 days in a row or 10 days in a row. So what we're doing instead is there's no ColdIron next weekend. And instead, we're going to run Radiant Citadel on the Sunday night for Patreon. So if you're on the Patreon at the $5 tier or up, you can finally get the conclusion of that game that Robin ran like 4 months ago. Our schedule's dumb. But guys, I'm really
dance fight.
The dance fight.
That's right.
I am really excited by the new schedule changes that we've made, and it's actually wild because I actually get some days off. Even then, I have some editing that's due. Like this episode of ColdIron, or the previous episode, is not up on YouTube yet because I released our end of the year video instead. Because I wanted to finally get that out, basically. So the ColdIron episode will be coming out tomorrow. Vecna will be coming out probably on Tuesday, and then we'll have more rolling releases for the YouTube. But I mean, we release more than anybody, any 2 or 3 other streams, so I think it'll be fine. So very excited to have all of those games back. The schedule is finally stabilizing. I'm starting to prepare for side projects. I'm very excited about that, guys. In fact, while walking Teddy yesterday, I was sending messages to like tons of people on the team being like, how do you feel about being in this game? Or, hey, Amy, you volunteered for this. How are you interested about this thing? Which I got to talk to you about later. Now, some of it's not for like another 6 or 8 months. Because it takes time to get all these things ready. I have to give Mike lead time to do the overlay frames. Does anybody have a project that the chat knows about that they're particularly excited about that's coming up? I mean, Fandelver is finally coming to a close. Finally. I'm so, like, I love Fandelver and I love...
Admittedly, I will be so sad to say goodbye to Lyric as a character.
Yeah.
And all the other characters. Because she's so fun to play.
She's very fun to play, and that's why we waited till run, because we didn't want to not have you in game last week when you had that little thing come up. But at the same point, man, I want those Monday nights off. I have so much stuff on my plate that having that Monday off and having the Monday as a flexible night so that if I need to do something else, or if I like we have a special event. So I'll announce one cool thing. So on February 9th, so long as things continue the way they are, we have a very special event happening after ColdIron that day. So if you come at, I think it's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific, so right after ColdIron, we have a special game of, what is the actual name? We have a very special game of Monty Python's co-curricular medieval reenactment that is going to be ran by by the head of Light Entertainment, Brian, who's one of the creators of the Monty Python role-playing game. And they're coming over and running a game for us on the channel. You're going to be able to see some lovely people in that game. It's going to be Mike, Kel, Jen, and Bunny Hearted are going to be in that. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So I hope you come and enjoy that. It's like a semi-sponsored game where they messaged and are like, hey, we want to run this thing. And I'm like, I don't have to run it, right? And they're like, nah, we'll run it for you. And I'm like, I'm going to run tech and watch it. It's going to be great. So that's going to be really lovely. Also, a couple of cool things about the Patreon, and this isn't me shilling, this is me just telling you something. If you join, cool. We are very close to Christine's Regency era game, which we're starting the casting process for, and that means that if we keep those numbers, we're only 25 people away from the Dealer's Choice game, which is gonna be wild. It's basically gonna be, I will run a campaign or chronicle of whatever the Patreon votes for. I'll only put things that I'm willing to run, but I'll put like 25 of them. You know, I'm not gonna put Mummy the Resurrection up there because I don't want to run Mummy the Resurrection. Maybe Mummy the Cursed. Maybe it'll be something else.
Maybe do your top 10. Maybe do your top 10, because then that 25 is a lot of choice, and you'll get a lot of spread.
Top 12. Top 12.
Sure.
Give them a baker's dozen of 13. Well, then I'm only halfway to 25 already. I probably should put 20. Fair. But there's a lot of really great stuff coming this year. So I just wanted to thank you all for being here with us, for supporting us, for loving us, because we love you back. We really do. If you're not already part of the community, consider joining the Discord. It's free. Limited time offer. From now until the sun burns out, it's free to join the Discord. But after that, it is going to cost you. Besides that, I think we're about ready to head back into game, unless anybody has anything else that they want to say. Perfect. We are doing so many things, Catchy Cantrips, and we need to do stuff with you. You guys should come and hang out more. And let me know if you ever want any more guests over on your place. I would love to come over and hang out more. Besides that, the last thing that I want to say before we head back is if you're a fan of the Chronicles of Darkness, please come and join us this Thursday night as our very own guest storyteller Simon K runs the finale of Changeling the Lost, The Lot of Liars. So that's Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. So hope you come and enjoy that. And if you're a fan of the World of Darkness, Transylvania's back on Wednesday. So with that, it's time for us to get back into ColdIron. Hello and welcome back to ColdIron, here on Dork Tales. Trixxi, you enter the room and you outline that you have some news and it might not be something they want to hear. The lights seem to go a bit dimmer as you enter. The candles that illuminate the room, aside from the red light issuing in from the glory signs outside, everything seems to dim a bit. You shut the door behind you, reflexively turning the double latch. What do you do?
I don't have very long.
What sort
I
of
have
news?
well, you know the troll that we killed? Well, we started the kill and then the dragoons finished.
You did a good job, though.
We did. Some more of that ColdIron. And she'll take the ColdIron out of the bag that she's wrapped in like a cloth. More of this came out of that creature's mouth when it died. I snatched it up before anyone else could find it. But this is not good that this seems to be mutating and creating more monsters in the city.
I see. Well, us not knowing doesn't change the fact that it's happening, right? Us knowing doesn't mean that it's happening more, so I think it's good to know.
No, I think it is. It's just it's coming up again, and this is the frequency is not good. Considering that's what they were mining at the town at Camp Nowhere.
Does seem odd that we've run across it twice in only a day or two. Wonder
Yeah.
how many they've covered up. Or if it's deliberate.
I wonder. So yeah, that's what I found out. I didn't want to keep it from any of you. I just didn't want necessarily anyone else finding it. But
Appreciated.
I have another client to deal with at 8. It should be fine, but because there's been explosions and monsters, if I don't come back at like 9, maybe come like looking, or if you hear any like fighting again, like with the last monster, keep an ear out. This caller just gave initials and no information, so I'm a little bit wary. I'm on guard.
Which room are you in?
I'm in Ventoris's room. It is how many floors are in this room? There's 4, so 3.
It's 4.
Is
It's on the
Ventoris
3rd
on
floor.
3?
It's the one with the brown door.
3rd floor, brown door.
Understood.
Alright. Is there any attic space over it?
The room that you're in doesn't, Trixxi, but you know that the attic storage across the hall does.
The attic storage across the hall has access to Ventoris's room.
But basically, Belle is going to offer to hang out in the space above and all stealthy-like and just kind of like quietly just be there. And if she hears anything with her cat ears,
Probably gonna hear more than you want to normally.
she can probably ignore it. She's been in a lot of
Yeah.
weird situations over the last year.
That's true.
Fair.
All right.
Also, that way, if you get interesting information, she might hear it too.
There we go.
What's everyone else gonna do? Just rest up?
I'll be a part of the squad to bust in if something happens.
The
Yeah.
brute squad.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Carrion's just sitting tight and maybe doing some quiet conversation with Zoe. I don't really know what they talk about, just whatever comes to mind.
Belle will
Like-
offer to piercingly whistle for you if anything sounds like we need help.
Fair.
Perfect.
All right. So, now here's the question. Is anybody good at picking locks? Because the attic storage room is in fact locked.
I am not proficient, but I have good dexterity. So can I take time and try?
You absolutely can. You have claws, and I'm pretty sure that Trixxi has a lockpick kit, or can assemble it in a few minutes.
Trixxi is proficient with thieves' tools, and tinker's tools. So
Sweet,
yeah, she
so
has a
Trixxi
thieves'
should do
tools
it.
kit. Yeah, if we set that up before, Trixxi could definitely do that as we're leaving.
Yeah,
Also,
you
does the
absolutely-
storage room have a window?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Do these windows seem locked on a regular basis?
They are, but they're pretty basic latch locks.
Because if they're easier to open, then Belle can just climb out the outside and climb along. And
Okay. Well, why don't you
Quickly.
go ahead and just give me
she'll
an
look for
apple-
anybody in the street watching first.
And you have a climbing speed, right?
Yep.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and going around the outside and popping it? Just give me a dexterity check to pop the lock.
Well, I rolled a 17 and my dex is +4.
Okay. So, discussing this before, you probably would say that there's no real need to Trixxi, that you'll take care of it.
Sure.
Okay. Now, while you're off doing that, climbing in that room, what is happening with Zoe and Carrion as you're just resting up? Chatting about
I
anything in
mean-
particular?
I don't think
Hmm.
Carrion has anything particular in mind, just whatever casual conversation comes up. So
Well, we only ate at lunch, I believe. And then we had a big fight. And now Trixxi is doing strenuous activities. So Zoe, I'm sorry, my brain died halfway through the sentence. Where am I going? Zoe's going to make some food. She's gonna cook a little bit, I think.
Cool. All right. So, cooking a bit of food and getting things ready. You've got like a little camp stove or something that you can set up. You've got
I
cook's
have my
tools.
burner in my hand.
Oh, that's true. You do.
I have integrated tools.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a really cool little bonus thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, you can absolutely head through and start cooking there. What are you making?
That's a good question. Let me see. What would I have on me? Do. Oh, oops.
So
I guess
while
I
you're
would have
doing
slapped money down on the table. Sorry, I was like, did we actually pay for our lunch? I would have slapped money on the table before
You would've.
skedaddling.
you would have.
Yeah, I think she'd make a pot of stew.
Okay.
So with like a pot with like a little like lifter, I guess, so that it's not directly on her hand. Although, yeah, so it's not directly on her hand, and then above the little burner thing. Anyway,
Okay. Cool. What are you using to make the? Do you have some like dried jerky or pemmican or something like that, and like some rations that
Yeah.
you can basically undehydrate or
Yeah.
You can hydrate.
Rehydrate. But yeah,
Rehydrate.
So yeah, she would definitely have some jerky and rations, and maybe pocketed a little bit of the whatever she had for lunch before they ran out, and kind of
Fair.
added that too. In my
That's
brain, it looked like nachos, but I don't recall exactly what it was.
It was cactus nachos,
Cactus. Oh, nice. Okay.
like literal cactus nachos, with deep fried cactus leaves.
Right.
All right, so you've got some of that. You can make kind of a soup and a dip. And
Perfect.
Carrion, are you just like luxuriating in the tub this whole time?
No, she would have been actually pretty quick in and out. So she's
Okay.
probably actually just lurking, like looking over Zoe's shoulder, being slightly bored and very much just there. Probably asking questions about just food prep in general.
Cool. Are you keeping an eye on the window to the upstairs?
I think so.
Okay. Carrion, make me a perception roll.
Okay. You said perception?
Mm-hmm.
17.
17. As you're standing there keeping an eye out, having idle conversation with Zoe, you're going to see a carriage pull up. It's noteworthy to you because this place is particularly well suited to Sarn, the lizard creatures that are used as horses and other beasts of burden around here. But this carriage is actually pulled by horses. The driver is clad in black. You can't get a good sense of them. But as it comes to a stop in front of the Glory, you'll see two immense figures step out of the carriage. One from up here you'll see has a greenish-brown hue to their skin. An orc or half-orc of some variety, dressed in a high-end clothing. Coattails, top hat, waistcoat. Next to him is what you think is a woman. Women generally aren't 7.5 feet tall, but this one is. Her hair is long and black and braided with a number of bones down the side of it. Her skin pale, chalky white, with dozens of interlocking tattoos running down her neck and her sleeveless suit. Well, the arms that jut out of her sleeveless suit anyway. She's dressed to the nines as well, a double-breasted suit with the sleeves removed and tailored around bulging biceps. Both of them are carrying weapons. One, a large pistol at his hip. The other, an actual great axe dangling from a thong at her back. The woman, the Goliath, turns and offers a pale hand inside of the carriage. And before you can see who exits, a parasol juts out and opens, obscuring the view of the person. Meanwhile, in the next room, you manage to climb through and into the attic across the way. There's a bit of light filtering in from outside, Belle, and as you're peeking outside there, well, as you're looking around the room at least, you'll see that it is full of old, broken furniture, statuaries, a number of dressing mannequins, the kind with the adjustable middle bit so that you can basically fit someone's measurements exactly to what they are shaped like. And there are about 6 of these, all different sizes. Besides that, if you poke around, there's a number of things in the room. many of them broken. This looks like where a lot of the raw materials that get destroyed by particularly aggressive clientele are stored before they can be repurposed or smelted down or sold for scrap. Is there anything that you're doing while you're in there? Or just keeping an eye out?
I think she'll just keep an eye out.
Okay, sounds good. There's a knothole in the floor. It's small, about as big around as your thumb, between a pair of floorboards that is a bit more broadly spaced than the rest. With a fingernail, well, with a claw, you can easily stick down and scratch open a little hole in the plaster of the ceiling of the room below. And I'm assuming that you... Yes,
obviously.
Okay? And that's where we're going to head. We swap down through that hole as you look. As Trixxi positions herself around the room, there's a large 4-poster bed with dark red draperies hanging from it. The wallpaper in here is quite a bit nicer than Trixxi's, but, well, Fentoris has been working here for probably about 20 years. Enough that he's definitely had a little bit of time to improve. He's one of the highest earners. He's a switch, so he does get a lot of play. Trixxi, what are you doing as you're in there?
I think Trixxi, because she doesn't know anything about this client, she's just gonna, I think, keep the room. She'll take off the, like, she'll have cleaned it from the dwarf, but she'll just, like, kind of uncover everything, leave it as it is with, like, how Fentoris kind of kept it, and she just will kind of prepare it, have probably some wine chilling in like an ice bucket with a couple of goblets on the table, and she's just wearing like a very kind of sexy black robe to just welcome. So she's just kind of like just prepared.
Okay. There is a knock on your door, loud and heavy.
She will go open the door.
An immense orc man dressed in finery is standing in front of you. He looks at you. Move aside. He doesn't wait for you to respond before he pushes past you into the room.
Hey, what? What are you doing here?
Securing the perimeter. It'll just be a second, Mum. Pardon the intrusion.
He lifts up the skirt of the bed, looks underneath it, checks the wardrobes. Behind you, you see an immense Goliath woman. Her arms crossed across her chest. She is wide at the chest, and as her arms settle down, she's more pec than breast, but she is about 8 times your size, minimally.
The doll. I enjoy a challenge, is all I'm gonna say.
That? Нет, not me.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm not stretched. I don't think I'm prepared for that. I would try, but good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Later, though.
You
If
would
you're ever
fail,
interested.
miss. Your jaw is not strong enough. a voice will clear its throat at that remark. A little bit like kind of like a parent chastising a child, and the Goliath will straighten up and look kind of flushed. A little bit of blue will rise to her cheeks. Sorry, ma'am. From behind you, you hear the orc say,
We're clear, ma'am. Oh, good.
and behind the Goliath, you are going to see a woman step into the room in front of you. She is an elf. One of the more... Elves exist on a type of beauty that is hard to describe for most. Sun elves or high elves, absolutely so. They're ethereal. Their flesh looks like it was woven out of light. Their hair is a dream made manifest. She's not quite that good, but she's very pretty. She has a stronger jaw than most elves, which is still to say that, compared to a human, she could probably cut glass with it. Her ears are long and slender. Her eyebrows are meticulously plucked. Her hair is golden gossamer, hanging down in a series of ribboned rows. Her outfit costs more than you make in a year. A bodice and blouse, beneath the corset, with actual... is that whalebone or something more exotic? Laced into it. And a hoop skirt, twice the width of her shoulders, that sachets as she moves, and beneath you'll see a pair of heels. Glorious, beautiful leather heels, made by only the finest of merchants. She closes her parasol, enters the room, and looks around. So you're Trixxi, she says in a slightly accented voice that speaks of probably being raised in elven society.
At your service, my lady.
You are Brodvik's whore?
I wouldn't use that term, but
You're right, you were never Brodvik's. Morris, Tabata, please leave us.
Right outside the door, ma'am.
And the two bodyguards will step out and close the door. The woman steps inside and starts looking around the room. The aesthetic is much more masculine than I would have thought.
my room is currently being redecorated.
I see. And as she lowers the parasol and turns, you are going to be able to see now that from behind it, underneath the corset, where it's only laced to about her lower ribs, she is bulgingly, achingly pregnant. 8-9 months in. She turns, resting a hand on her swollen belly. He came to visit you 2 nights ago, did he not?
Yes, I believe so. I think it was 2 nights ago. They,
Did his dalliances with you make him happy? At least while you were here with him.
I don't know about happy. Didn't really get into emotional talks with him. He paid for a service. I gave the service. He left a satisfied customer, but I don't know if you just described that as happy. He went home to you, didn't he?
I suppose he never was happy. And now he's gone. I don't care what happened. I've known about his dalliances with you here for quite some time. Morris may look large, but he's quite a adept tracker. I assumed that he had some other form of outlet since he stopped touching me. Once the physician informed him of my condition.
Listen, I'm not here to comment on anything for that. I was a service. I paid. I'm just like...
Yes, you keep saying that. So, you in no way loved my husband? Did you find him wholly unlovable?
I found him a customer. There's not really... I don't get emotional attachments.
He was handsome. And he was wealthy. And our marriage brought with it its set of perks. I suppose now it is... it is Thalindra Debts who controls the Debts Ranch and Mercantile. I suppose I have no one to... She pauses for a moment. As I said, I don't care what your relationship was to him, really. Nor should I thank you for anything that may have led to my inheritance.
Is he dead?
Make me a deception roll. Oh, balls!
Oh my god!
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 6 on the die, plus charisma is 9. I'm gonna use determination to bring it to an 11 in case the threshold was 10, which I don't think it is.
Nope, the threshold was my nat 20.
No!
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck!
One moment, please. Perfect.
no.
What's your armor class?
Well, I guess I'm not wearing armor, am I? I said I'm in a negligee.
Perfect.
It's 10 plus dex for
10 plus
unarmored.
dex? Yeah.
13.
Cool. She's going to take a step forward, holding one hand on top of her swollen belly, but her other is going to catch you across the cheek, the ring that her husband gave her, cutting a small gash across your cheek. You're going to take 1 point of damage as she slaps you. I said that I do not care what happened to my husband under your watch, but I will not be lied to by a gutter snipe. Do me the respect of not lying to my face, the woman you made a widow.
No lying, then.
No lying.
Then your husband was trying to shoot me.
Then he got what he deserved.
And usually you have to
suppose.
pay for this kind of service on me. So I hope you're tipping extra.
You have been adequately compensated. He was trying to shoot you?
Yes. Your husband thinks he owns people.
He did. He doesn't think it anymore. That is why I've come to speak with you. His indiscretions brought him low, and he's paid for it. My family shall not pay for such a thing, however. Nor shall his son. He is due what he would have inherited from his father. Brodvik was found without an item on him, one that had been handed down to him by my father. I wish it back. A revolver with a hotwood grip. It was part of a dowry. I wish
what do
the
I
gun
get out of it?
back. Do you have it?
I know someone who has it.
You will be compensated for the remainder of the night with gratuity. If you bring me to the person, then I will bargain with them directly. Is that sufficient?
I think that's sufficient for that deal.
Is this person nearby?
Yes.
Can you bring me to them?
I will go get them and bring them to you.
Might I sit in that chair then?
Be my guest.
Miss Trixxi,
Hmm.
you have a little. And she will reach into her clutch and pull out a small monogrammed kerchief and pass it to you, gesturing to the little dribble of blood on your cheek. And can you
Trixie
make me...
won't grab the monogram, and she will just wipe it off with her finger.
Okay. As she holds it out, her sleeve is going to ride up a bit. Can you make me a perception roll, please?
Mm-hmm.
Or insight, your choice.
They are the exact same for me.
Okay, go ahead. And you may make this roll with advantage.
Ooh. Nat 20 for a 22.
Now, despite her tough and bluster demeanor, you do think that this is the type of woman who would easily throw you to the crabs in the lower districts. But there's a mode of tenderness as she sees the slash on your cheek that she feels, at the very least, like she shouldn't have lost control of herself. But there's something else beyond that. As a little bit of a bruise blossoms across the green of your cheek, and she holds out the handkerchief. You don't take it, but as you wipe away your cheek, you're going to see that the ruffled cuffs of her top are going to pull back slightly at the elbow. You know what it looks like when a drunk man grabs a woman by the wrist. You know that those marks can last for a week. You can see the gouging bruises just at the hem of that sleeve. And you can see that in spite of her natural beauty, she is wearing more makeup than an elf of her station would. Particularly around her cheeks and eyes. And although it is pushing into winter, this season, it is not fashionable to wear a ruffled collar that high up. I appreciate your propriety.
Of course.
And your discretion about his predilection for masculine enjoyments. Men, they do like it rough, don't they? Rough houses, she says with a tight smile. I suppose it was the human in him.
Nah. I just think he was a drunk and a bad person. I wouldn't blame that on the species.
I'll wait here.
Of course, my lady.
And she goes and sits and smooths out her dress. What do you do?
Trixie will run upstairs, knock on the door, assuming that Belle's probably heard everything, so probably will be like, Belle doesn't need to be let know, but she'll knock on the door and go into the room with Carrion and Zoe and be like, Carrion, Broderick's wife is here, and
I'm sorry, what?
Does she want
She-
stew? I
she
made you
no, she
stew.
no, she came in kind of threatened me a little bit, but
Oh,
she would like that revolver back, and she's willing to pay for it because it's a family heirloom or part of a dowry or something. So if you want to sell that, gouge her for
I-
everything.
Sure. Can't really use it this.
and if it belongs to Broderick and
Well,
his
he sacrificed
widow-
the right to that when he tried to kill Trixxi.
But that's fair. That's fair. But if
That
his
was
widow is
combat.
coming
That was
back,
scavenging rights. But I could be persuaded.
I mean, it's a family dowry. You could sell it for twice the price, and then get yourself a better gun.
What was part of the dowry? Then it must be nicer than I thought it was. And Garen's gonna start examining it a lot more closely.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a... God, I hate 5e for this, but make me a history check.
Nah, I don't
His-
have any history. But that's okay. I'm from Deity.
You're from
And I'm
Taliina'a.
from
Add a +1 for
weird
being
mix.
from a cowboy region.
cool. That actually gives me a bonus then. It more
Gives you a
than so it's
2.
a 12.
Ooh, a 12.
What?
It's really fine
A
make.
bonus.
It is like it's got a little bit of. Do you have any tool proficiencies?
Nope.
Okay. It's made of heartwood, a very, very durable material, warm to the touch, very comfortable. But it's also made of a very, very shiny metal that's kind of filigreed around the side. So besides the steel, it looks like it's some type of alloy.
Hmm.
It looks expensive. Like, it's probably worth a decent amount. Craftsmanship's on point. Too bad the guy who aimed it couldn't shoot to save his life. Well, I guess he did take out on one person almost entirely. So, you know.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, so she'll take a look at it and like, well, kind of just shrug and then think about how much guns cost and how much something like this might be, and then we'll double that amount in her head.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do you want to follow me down, or do you want me to do the sale transaction on your behalf? Doesn't matter either way, but
Admittedly, I don't really want to deal with a jilted white widow.
fair. So what would you like for it?
So, yeah, Amy doesn't know how much these things usually cost.
Yeah, Trixxi
so-
will. Amy will say. Carrion will say a number
Probably-
too. Trixxi.
And it's like
You could probably
she's
risk
just
a grand
doubling
for
whatever
it.
it seems like a typical amount, and
You could probably ask
Yeah.
for northwards of a grand to 1,200.
Gold.
she'll go for the 1,200.
Okay, you'll try for it. Sure.
Look, all right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Trixxi will grab the gun, go back downstairs, re-enter the room.
I thought you were bringing someone here.
They elected to let me bargain on their behalf, and so make the transaction.
Now, are you walking and carrying your gun or this gun?
Yeah, 'cause she's not really wearing anything, so
Fair. So as you approach the door and she says that to you, as the door opens, a green hand is going to jet out in front of you.
Spin the cylinder, please.
There are still three. Pardon me, you would have reloaded it, so there's 6 full shots in it.
If you wouldn't mind, love.
yeah. takes out the shots,
Thank you.
holds hand out to the guy because he probably would want to hold them.
Yep, he's going to take the bullets from you as you enter. She looks
Well?
so serene, stroking her belly as you enter the room. How much did your acquaintance... What would they want in exchange for that piece of my property?
$1,200.
Ah. Did Brodvik express his frustrations specifically, or merely take them out on you? I see. Brodvik had a bit of a problem. He was a notorious drinker, but also a notorious gambler. The Debts Ranch and Mercantile is a bit strapped for liquidity at the moment. I would not be able to provide an exchange of coin for that. Nor would I feel comfortable providing you with a script of payment, not knowing when it would be able to be cashed. That said, we are a mercantile. Perhaps there's some sort of trade good or animal.
San.
We are in the... Make me a persuasion roll. You may do this flat, because you have what she wants, and so whether or not she likes you, you have what she wants. So go ahead and roll flat.
Yeah.
Did you get an nat
2
20?
nat 1s in a row. 2 nat 20s in a row. So, persuasion is 23.
I think I have just what you need. He was many things, but he was a very competent breeder. She touches her belly again. We were working on a new hybridized sound that would be particularly celeritas. We've just recently begun the hatching process. I will give you a writ of ownership that can be retrieved from the stables. Alternatively, should you not request one of those, I could outfit you with a few less thoroughbred sounds. Morris, the door will open and the orc will step in. Fetch my attaché. He will nod. A moment later, will bring a small suitcase with a writing set. She will scrawl it down. Should this be made out to yourself or to the person in question?
Carrion. That's the name.
Carrion. Spelled like the...
Yes. I think so. I don't know. I haven't
Does Carrion...
Carrie for short. Go for Carrie.
Does Carrion have a surname?
Has Carrion said her surname to us before? I don't think so.
Possibly not.
It makes sense. No one really goes, I get, unless they're like you're doing
I
formal
mean, if
introduction.
my name was Carrion Slaughterhouse, you wouldn't be able to shut me up about it personally, but... so
Do you
Belle,
think
what
Carrion would have said her name
I
fully?
mean, it probably might have come up briefly, especially if we had ID or some papers,
Mhm.
like, might have seen it.
Right. Carrion Slaughterhouse. I am not joking.
You do keep very unusual company. Done.
Wonderful. And next time you want to meet me, don't come to my place of work. Just like I won't come to your place of living. Send me a note next time. We can go grab coffee if you want to chat.
Perhaps. I suppose we're good friends now. We've shared so much. After all.
It wasn't that much, to be honest. I am sorry that. You know what? You're young and you're wonderful. I'm sure you'll find another lord.
To be honest, not particularly interested.
Well, if you ever want to call on me for proper services.
All right, now make me a persuasion roll.
All right, I'm gonna still use this purple dice because come on, 3 nat 20s. I'm pushing my luck here. I'm pushing
You're
my
pushing
luck.
your luck, but I need to know.
Oh, that's
Is
another
it-
9. I'm gonna throw determination because it's silly to make that a 14.
14? Are you really trying to proposition the widow of the subject of your affairs?
Hey, he was just a client. I was not his affair. What he did and what kind of piece of shit that he did to you is nothing about me. I was just working. And if you don't want to do men anymore, I am quite deft. And they come with attachments. I'm just trying to make a coin. Like I said, no emotional connection. He did what he did. I'm not the judge.
She is
That's on you.
under her powder. She is bright red, and she will smile and say, "I will keep that in mind. I must admit, the boldness does send me a bit of Twitter. And between us, even before Broadvic, I was not particularly interested in the persuasion, regardless of his assets. Perhaps that's why I had to marry outside of Elven society." She stands and smooths her dress and starts heading toward the door, which is still open from where Morris had entered, who collects her belongings. She pauses at the door, smiles back at you, and said, "They always thought I was too mannish, that I had too strong of a jaw." And she'll turn and step out into the hallway, and as she does, you notice that the Goliath is giving you quite the stink eye. And as she turns to go escort her charge, her body language softens significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Morris will reach out.
Then we're concluded then. The script can be used at any of the Dietz Ranch and Mercantiles, which are located inside of Prospect, Burden, and Parts Unknown. Presently there are 4 of them. There's one at Stark Springs, and another one, should you make it all the way up, is at Port Sulphur.
Sounds good. Before you go, ma'am, might I offer just a little demonstration?
She'll pause at the door. I'm afraid I don't have time for a demonstration at the moment, but...
It'll just take a second.
She raises an eyebrow.
Would you permit me your hand?
My lady, maybe you should... It's fine. She'll take a few steps back into the room and offer a hand.
Trixxi will very seductively grab a finger, suck it, and then give it a little nip right on the very sensitive part of the palm, which can sometimes send tingles other places to show that she knows business.
Oh my god.
And
All
knows
right.
women.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Oh, come on, dice. There we go. That's a 19 on that dice, so 22.
Despite her best demeanor, she shivers. And as you do that, she shuts her eyes for a moment and purses her lips. And suddenly, a big Goliath hand is wrapped around your wrist and pulls her hand clear of your mouth.
We must be going.
She gives you a murder glare. Yes, I suppose. Morris, provide the adequate gratuity at the door. And she will turn and exit. But not before giving you one more little backward glance of fluttering eyes at the door. Which is immediately followed by of the Goliath woman.
I do take multiples.
Your jaw is not strong enough.
I'll work on it for you, babe.
Morris will take the gun from you, put it in the case, hand you the script.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Hey, you as well, sir. Good sweep of the room.
Yeah, I'm a professional after all.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I apologize for the trouble that you've been through here. Would you permit me to touch you?
That'll cost you.
I was looking to heal the mark on
Oh.
your cheek.
Sure.
Pardon the intrusion.
And he'll
That's
lay a
alright.
finger on your cheek, and there will be a shiver of light that flows through you, as he's going to use Lay on Hands for 1 hit point of damage.
Oh, he's a paladin. Of course he is.
Be seeing you. Stay out of trouble, eh?
Yeah. I like trouble.
Yeah. so did Master Brodvik.
Mm.
And he'll shut the door, leaving you in that room. Upstairs, Belle, what are you doing? Looking through this hole the entire time, monitoring this.
Just kind of staying quiet so they don't notice her. And then she'll leave once they're fully gone.
Okay. With that, Trixxi, you head back upstairs. And we cut back to the room. Zoe, having completed the stew as it's been simmering for a good hour or so. Carrion kind of idly waiting. Belle has just re-entered the room.
She was gonna say, I always pack bowls with me, so if you'd like to... Oh, there you are! Never mind. I was waiting for you, but then I figured they might be getting hungry, but are you hungry?
I am so hungry. I realized I didn't eat at that place. I had a bit of a protein bar between shifts, but I'm starving.
Good. You look healthier
This
than
looks
when you
really-
came up earlier. Interesting. Anyways, I'll duel it out for you. She'll start scooping it.
Wonderful. So Carrion.
How did it go?
Not the way that you probably were thinking it was gonna go, but I think I got a better deal for you.
I'm listening.
So Brodvik apparently, among being a piece of shit, he was also a gambler. And so they don't have any coin assets. And she'll
Oh.
produce the writ.
Fantastic. And what's this supposed to be?
They are breeding sarns.
Give me that right now.
I figured.
Mary
you'd
like
probably
lunges
like
across
that.
and like trying not to like drop a bowl of food that she's like of whatever it is that Zoe's made. Be like eyes wide, looking kind of feral.
So they've just started the hatching process in the ranches, but they have these like
Don't just
fancy
give me
new-
that.
I get here. So I figured that would work. So sold your gun, but you got yourself a sarn.
I think
And you'll be able
you
to raise
might
it.
be my new best friend. And she'll plug in like hug and like lift entirely physically Trixxi up. I didn't think it was that obvious, but clearly you figured something out.
I mean, every time we've passed by a sarn of some sort, you have had like, you've been almost drooling. I am very good at noticing people and noticing their wants and needs. It's kind of my whole job.
I suppose I've not been the most subtle, no. But
And like anytime we've dealt with creatures or of sorts, you've been very eager to play with them.
I do get the point. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is fantastic.
So we need to get you a song. They have staples here.
Zoe, the stew, I need you to make me a cooking check, please.
Oh,
So cook's tools plus wisdom or dex, your call. Or charisma if you use like that Robo Hooters outfit.
Yes. Alright, charisma and cook's tools.
We're gonna use the Robo Hooters outfit. Okay, good.
Let's do it.
Someone make art of Zoe dressed in a Hooters girl outfit. I will pay you for that.
16.
16? You know what? Given the ingredients, it is a solid soup. Stew, I should say. And you all are going to have your yourself completely warmed up as Zoe charmingly serves you in a way that makes you feel really well taken care of. You have no idea where Taliina'a is, but as soon as you find her, the future's looking a little brighter right now. Is there anything else that you all do before you head to bed for the night?
I just want to say, I know we've kind of been thrown together by happenstance and circumstance, but, it's really nice having, genuine people I feel like I can count on.
Agreed, and I think we all complement each other very well. And it was very nice to get to know you, Trixxi.
Likewise to all of you. I've had an opinion about Tali, but I also feel like she's been manipulated and brainwashed by the person that she works for. I feel like she's a good person at heart, too. We just need to find her and maybe try and look into what is going on with her incredibly sketchy boss.
I agree with that assessment. I think she's had some hardships dealt her way and has adapted to them. Shall we start in the morning?
Yes.
And you all begin to head to bed and rest up, taking a long rest. And as we do, we're going to peer out the window as you all curl up with Stu in the early evening. The burner of the stove nearby, keeping you nice and warm even as the windows begin to frost over. It's getting cold at night as we move toward winter in the late autumn. But it's colder still down below. Down in the lower districts. Night passes. And down in the Dead Vein Grottos, well, down in the Ebtide Basin, just above the Dead Vein Grottos, you see that there are massive ponds and pools from where the industrial runoff, the leaked seawater, has created a series of places for fishers and crabbers to go and ply their trade, many of them scrawny and desperate. A pair of young humans, 14 or 15, are coming down early before the sun, what little bit of sun makes it down to ebb tide, illuminates the area and scares off some of the more skittish of night fish and night creatures. And as they're wandering down, making some jokes at each other, one of the two boys is going to make a body reference. But before he can finish it, he tumbles. He trips, skinning his knee and swearing loudly. The other turns and looks down at him, pitching his torch in his direction. "You okay?" "Yeah, I just tripped over this goddamn..." Oh, shit, another one. And as the torch is lowered, we see that the reason that the boy fell was a bald, red-bearded dwarf, crabs feasting on his eyes and tongue. and a few crawling out of the wound where he was slit from ear to ear, and then dropped into the ebb tide basin from one of the districts above. No one will remember Cray the Dwarf tomorrow. Perhaps he should have kept his damned mouth shut. But we'll find out more about that next time here on ColdIron. Folks, thank you for joining us for another episode of ColdIron.
Oh no, that was the nice guy.
He was the nice guy.
No.
Darn.
Darn.
He was helpful.
Are you
He was
friends?
helpful.
Yeah, right.
Never be helpful.
Too helpful.
All right, so folks, that's going to be it for us today. A slightly shorter game because I want to not do too much. They also have to go rescue Tali. All of you are going to get a long rest. Technically, Tali will as well. Also, seriously, someone do the Hooters Zoe. I need it. But a big thank you to everybody who came out, to our sponsor, Bookwyrm Games, and of course, to our patrons. Folks, we are only like 6 patrons away from hitting a tier where Christine has to run a game of Regency-era D&D. If you like the Old West, and you like this episode with all the backstabbing and the, oh yes, but you are never his, like that type of stuff, this is all about a wedding and an unexpected invitation, so consider joining the Patreon. It will be a hell of a lot of fun. Plus, you get access to additional content like our early Descent into Avernus episodes, Panic at the Radiant Citadel, the last Hunter episodes when they're finally filmed, and the finale of Old Gods of Appalachia way early, on top of all the other stuff that I'm going to be running this year. I need to do a big thank you to everybody on patreon.com/dorktales who makes the dream real, starting with our divine producers, my mom, hi mom, and Shaikon Dave Vermillion, who's not my mom. Hi, Shaikon. Our demonic producer, Sorcerer Sanguine. Our wizards of the Patreon, Tammy the Forever Cleric, the Ink Goblin, Karasha Urquhart, and Big Nut, who I saw here today. Monster Maker Soul Omen was also on the Patreon, and so was the High Council, Terran, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Chef Eladeth, Mike Baxter, Larouk, Brian Kaler, Nerdy Metal Gent, Grumpy Owl, Cody, David Prophet, and Andrea Gresham. You guys are all amazing, and I will see you. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're taking next week off so that I don't have a 10-day week, and we will be seeing you shortly as we continue into the Prospect arc of ColdIron. Good night, everybody.